Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to first look at Stan Kroenke to resist selling Arsenal despite Spotify founder Daniel Ek enlisting help of three Invincibles, and then we're going to look at David Luiz returning to Arsenal training ahead of Villarreal's semi-final clash. So the first news headline states that Stan Kroenke is to resist selling Arsenal despite Spotify founder Daniel Ek enlisting help of three Invincibles. So the reports are stating that Stan Kroenke has no intention of selling Arsenal and will fend off Spotify founder Daniel Ek's bid to buy the club despite three Invincibles lending their support to take over. Fans made their feelings towards their American owner very clear last Friday, protesting outside the Emirates prior to the club's defeat to Everton and calling for Stan Kroenke to sell up. Upon seeing the scenes, Spotify CEO Ek, who is worth £3.1 billion according to Forbes, tweeted that he would be happy to throw his hat in the ring to buy Arsenal, and his potential takeover bid has snowballed since then. The 38-year-old Swede has now enlisted the help of a trio of Gunners legends Patrick Vieira, Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp, all of whom could have been given roles at the club if a buyout is successful. However, while Daniel Ek's plans have quickly garnered the support of Arsenal's fanbase, it is reported that there is little chance of the takeover materialising, with Stan Kroenke set to oppose any sale. The Arsenal owner's son Josh, a director at the club, confirmed at the fans forum last week that KSE had no intention of selling and that position remains the same. In fact, it has been strengthened, with Kroenke said to be more committed than ever to the club and prepared to fund a significant splurge in the summer transfer window. Arsenal's American owners want to build bridges after the fallouts of their sign-up to the European Super League, and they are determined to win over supporters on and off the pitch. Stan Kroenke has resisted bids for Arsenal in the past, including from former shareholder Elisha Usmanov and Africa's richest man Aliko Dangote, and will not be tempted by Daniel Ek's rumoured £1.8 billion proposal. Arsenal have endured another difficult season this year and sits in 10th place in the Premier League table, with European football looking unlikely for next season unless they can win the Europa League. So it looks like Stan Kroenke is to resist selling Arsenal despite Spotify founder Daniel Ek enlisting help of three Invincibles. And it looks like Stan Kroenke has no intention of selling Arsenal, and he will do everything in his rights and power to fend off Spotify founder Daniel Ek's bid to buy the club. In terms of Stan Kroenke, he is someone that is under big pressure from the Arsenal fanbase, as we clearly saw last Friday on their protests, but we can clearly see that this guy has the power, he has the money, and would he be tempted by a bid from Daniel Ek? So you have to wait and see how this pans out. So this nicely takes us on to the second piece of news, which states that David Luiz returns to Arsenal training ahead of Villarreal's semi-final clash. So the reports are stating that Arsenal defender David Luiz is set to be fit for the side's Europa League semi-final first leg clash against Villarreal after returning to training today. The Brazilian is one of the few players to have experienced of the latter stages of the competition, which he won with Chelsea in 2013. David Luiz has missed the last 5 weeks of action after requiring minor knee surgery to clear up an issue. But the former Paris Saint-Germain defender was able to return to first team training on Tuesday, and he will be hoping to prove his fitness in time to feature against Villarreal, who are managed by former Gunners boss Unai Emery. David Luiz is out of contract at the end of the season, and it remains to be seen whether he will be granted a 12-month extension. The Brazilian is keen to go into coaching after his playing career ends, and there has been speculation that he could take a hybrid role at the Emirates, which would allow him to transition onto the coaching staff. The Evening Standard claim talks have yet to be opened with David Luiz over a new deal, but the club are likely to commence them once the season finishes. David Luiz is said to be relaxed about his future at the club, and he would be open to rejoining former side Benfica should the Gunners opt against extending his deal. So it looks like David Luiz has returned to Arsenal training ahead of Villarreal's semi-final clash, and it seems to be a huge boost for the Gunners, as they will have David Luiz, a real leader in the team, a real leader in the dressing room, and a real leader for the youngsters to look upon. And he will be fit, maybe, for the side's Europa League semi-final first leg clash against Villarreal, as he has returned to training today, and if he is back in full fitness, then he will probably be able to start or maybe have a feature in the game versus Villarreal. And I think that's very good in my opinion, because in terms of David Luiz, he's someone that's won it at the biggest stages, and he also won this Europa League trophy with Chelsea in 2013. In terms of David Luiz, he has came back in fitness quicker than expected after requiring minor knee surgery to clear up an issue, and that is thanks to one of the physios that joined in September. And it would be such a boost for Mikel Arteta to be able to rotate his squad, with the likes of Rob Holding and David Luiz able to switch between matches, and Mikel Arteta able to have these players in healthy competition to choose the best player fit for every single game until the end of the season, and more or less in the most important 3 games of Arsenal's season. And we will have to wait and see if David Luiz may get the opportunity to start versus Villarreal, knowing that he knows this competition inside out. He knows how to win in the lesser stages, and we have to wait and see if he could guide Arsenal to that Europa League trophy. So it looks like the Gunners having David Luiz will be a good thing in my opinion, but would his contract be extended at the end of the season? That looks very unlikely, because there are talks about Arsenal being linked with other centre defenders, so you have to wait and see how this pans out. But other than that guys, remain blessed, stay tuned for the next video, and peace.